Okay, so one of the stories was that Prince tried to run Michael Jackson over. Okay, so that there's like a couple of versions of it, but I kind of want to go through it and probably why nobody even took it seriously because the way that people present the story, like it's something funny, like I don't know, but it's not funny actually. It's actually a really serious story. Quincy did a version of it, and then he said that he tried to run over, I think him and Latoya, something like that. But then will.i.am gave a version saying him and his mama. So I think the mama thing came out maybe because Quincy threw the word mama. Let me double check something here. Yeah, so Quincy said he wanted to run over Latoya and Michael, and then this is what he said, and maybe that's why Will said it a different way. That was some drama mama. So will.i.am's version was saying him and his mama. Somebody I don't know. Somebody added something to the story. Either I mean I don't know if Quincy got it wrong and then or will.i.am did, one of the two, right? And in Sinead O'Connor's story, that was the same thing. So he got in his vehicle and he started chasing her down in his car. So this story is absolutely positively true because it's multiple versions of him road raging. Basically, it's kind of like, he uses his car as like a weapon. So nobody took it seriously. No one really cares. It's just like one of those things. Oh, just get over it, honey, and show up at a show. And Michael's just like, okay, I don't even know why. Like I think it's a narcissist thing because the whole time, like he was saying that Michael's going, why didn't you guys say my name? It's like, it's not your damn show, Michael. Why does anybody have to pay attention to you? Then he's like, the next day, he's like, why isn't Prince saying my name? I don't know, just all this stuff. He's a meanie, all this stuff. Why would you be wanting him to do anything? And so it's so minimize Prince's evil, monstrous conduct. Okay, now Prince had a massive drug problem, and you could tell even in this video. I just now seen the video. I don't even remember ever seeing this video. I could not stop laughing at how ridiculous Prince is in this video. It's embarrassing. It's funny as hell, though. But it was the tail off to him blaming, I guess, Michael for him falling into the audience. And then that's when he wanted to run, them over. And because he got humiliated. So there's a video that was put up in 2009. will.i.am story. He said 2007, so I don't know when he's talking to Michael about it. Oh, look, go online and look at a video. So maybe this is just the facts are kind of all mixed up. I have no idea. But this video was put up in 2009, unless there's an earlier version somewhere else. But if you watch this video, it is ridiculous, but he's explaining the whispering in the ear thing. And then he also explains how Michael just doesn't like something. He's like, you need to remove that. It's like, do you own it? You need to remove that. Why is that up? Where's that? Take it down. Take it down. Yeah, that's him being a dictator. Just because he's talking in this way doesn't make him any less of evil, any less evil. They're all being evil up in here. Anyway, so Michael comes up. He's like, I'm going to show off and do this thing. And then Quincy's saying he loves drama. He loves stirring crap up. So there's some believability that on both parts they were being jerks to each other. And I was saying I'm just studying the dynamics between these idiots anyway. But they're going up there and Michael just does this thing. He dances around, does this thing. And the crowd, of course, loves him, blah, blah, blah. And then they tell him, he whispers into James Brown's ear and he tells him, call up Prince. Now, I don't know how they knew each other here. The first time I heard about Prince was actually in 1980. It could have been late 85, but it was like probably around 85, 86. Or, the time that the Golden State Killer, that's actually when the calls were coming in. Because, and I remember this very specifically, one of my neighbors, this young girl, got a hold of one of Prince's cassettes. And apparently, like, her parents didn't know she was listening to that. I think she was caught, and then they said, you can't listen to that. And I don't know, somehow she had it. So she comes over to my house in the country. She lived, like, right, two, three doors down, right? Because there's only like half a dozen houses out there. So she comes over, stays the night, and she's all, listen to this song, Nikki, whatever that one. And I was like, what's that? Anyway, so I remember this pretty well. And so everybody liked it because it was dirty. Not because like the music was so great. I think it was more of a like a shock value because it's lyrics that, the general conservative public was like, oh no, you can't be saying stuff like that. And it was more about that than it was, oh my God, he's a brilliant musician, because little kids are not even going on like that. So it was like that. So in 83, I didn't even know this dude existed. Comes on stage and you could tell he's high as a kite. Probably coke. Everybody's like, yeah, yeah. And so he doesn't even sing. He comes up there and he's like, I'm going to act as sexy as possible. And then he tries to like use the light post as a stripper pole and it falls down with him. And I almost, that part is just too much. It's like a SNL bit. I don't know why Michael would want it taken down because at no part does it make him look, I mean, the stuff that he did on here wasn't, it's just him doing his stuff. But anyway, he didn't want it up. And he can't do crap about it. I mean, who knows? Maybe in the background he was like, how do I get that removed? I don't want that stuff up on me. I didn't approve it. I didn't approve it. I need to have control. Okay, so then apparently he tries to run him over here. And then at some point, will.i.am talks to him, and will.i.am totally disregards what he tells him about the guy. And this is the crazy part. Like, he doesn't take him seriously. Like, he keeps saying it. And then it's not until Quincy tells him, okay, it's almost reminding me that his viewpoint of Michael is like a woman. Like, I'm just going to this is what men do to us, okay? And apparently, like, Quincy, he's scared of because Quincy has the power over will.i.am, I guess. Not of Michael. He's not little here, but he's not so much a Michael because he views him, maybe because he views him like a child or like a woman, something. So he's disregarding what he's telling him. And then not until Quincy tells him and he's like, oh, that must be true. Oh, so it wasn't true when Michael said it to you the first time? Okay, so, it must be true because he's saying that. And if you go see a video, you'll see the video where it started and then it went from there. So that's just one story. This is just one of the stories of Prince being a total psychotic maniac. And no, it's not from being on drugs. It's because he has other problems. And then those people do drugs. It's like that thing. The reversal of what people are trying to say. So, no, but it aids in his rotted brain to go and try to do that. They said he'd try to do murder. And the fact that somebody put it off, what do you say, hyperbole? Okay, so another video, they were discussing this, and he says that he hopes that it's that. It's like, no, because if you go to the other stories, he tried to run down Sinead, and she was saying she started spitting at him. He's trying to grab her. He's in his car. He's doing this crap. These are very serious stories, but for some reason, when it hits the public, everybody just minimizes it and thinks it's hilarious and yada, yada, yada. Now, I know when I'm talking about stories, we have a level of, we have to kind of keep it, well, I try to keep it kind of light when I'm talking about it, but it's still, that's the facts. But I know time am I disregarding the conduct. But it's kind of like, that's what everybody did. It's like, oh, he tried to murder some people. But you know what? He did Purple Rain. So we give him a pass. And that's kind of been going on. And then they disregard his history. They disregard women's history. But also in the story is also their interaction with other men. But these men are violent. Now, Michael wasn't, was he violent? I don't think he was violent, like physically, like he punched people out. I don't think I recall any story like that. But he likes to play, you know, that instigator. He's like the instigator. So this is a bad thing because we were actually taught about this even as a kid. Like you instigated it. So you're the shit stirrer, right? Like you get told as a kid, like, who started the fight, whatever. Okay, well, Michael is an instigator. And so he doesn't need to be violent. And so instigators like to start and stir shit, even though they won't be a part of like punching people out or anything like that. And then they do a manipulation of trying to present themselves as the good guy. So it's interesting watching this dynamic because they're both like a hot mess, but in different ways. And so they're kind of like bouncing off each other and they're both to blame. And then they both die in the same similar fashion, right? Like, you know. And yeah, they were a hot mess from a kid. So, and it's kind of weird where people are like, Michael's a natural. It's like, Michael was actually not a natural. It became second nature to him because reasons that they talked about. They forced them as children to, that was his normal. So that's where the hard wiring comes in. That's why it was so easy for him to walk out on stage and just go boop, because it's just second nature now. But it's not like he was born gifted. He was born in a family that's all they did as a child. And so it made it very easy for him to grow up as this great entertainer, right? So we're not talking about any of their artistry or anything like that. We're talking about them as a human. So in addition to that, put that aside with, you know, whipping dad and everything else. Yeah, so the childhood abuses is where it leads to this other step. It's not because, oh, he's a great talent and famous and da-da-da-da-da. It's those parts. And then them ignoring things like, you know, Prince was murderous. Yeah, it's a very serious thing. But apparently to everybody else, it's like, yeah, you know, we all try to kill everybody. You know, we're all very violent up in here. Anyways, come hang out with them. I mean, that's how men talk to us. Like, they're talking to Michael in that way, which is just, I'm just sitting back trying to take that in because I go, yeah, he must view him as a lesser because you wouldn't disregard Michael saying that. You would almost think that will.i.am would think, you know, Michael could destroy me. You know, like that type of mentality. No, I'm going to disregard what you just told me. How weird is that? But that's when we're looking at the conversation, it's like, yeah, that's how he's talking about it. I just disregarded what that Michael said that the guy tried to kill me. And I said, you know what? Just come anyway. That's exactly, and I want to point this out. That's exactly what Elton John's guy did to me. So when he called me, I know you have this issue with this guy. He's the Predator, right? The guy in the Skeletor camp. And he's like, I know you're probably going to say no, but I wanted to ask you anyway if you want to go. It's like they know exactly what's going on over there. And then it set off this whole thing for me to get blackballed. And there's nothing that I did that was wrong. It was their conduct. The instigators, right? The instigator of the story. And then Elton John goes and hires him. And at no time does anybody speak out on this topic because they know about it. You know what I mean? And I go, that's so interesting. They're a bunch of jackasses. So this is the truth in the background. Like, that's the true story in the background. But in the public, if you see the people talking to me, it's insane. It's a different reality. Like, they're not in the reality. So they don't know the real story. I'm telling the real story. There's nothing fake about it. The things that happen here, like will.i.am getting dates wrong, maybe, and, you know, the mom to the LaToya. It's just like, you know, very minimal, factual off, you know, it's like a little off, but the story's true. Like, it's just, what are you going on? That's bad. I just want to bring it up because someone said I'm the only one that said something bad about him. It's like, actually, no, Michael was saying it the whole time. And then I saw something in the comments. So the fans are so stupid. They're like, Prince said that there was nothing bad between them. The media just makes stuff up. Oh, so therefore that's true because Prince said that. Yeah, no. I said, go listen to the documentary guy because Prince and Michael both manipulate like what's in the public, and then sometimes they do create, you know, some fake stuff that's in the public, but they're creating the narrative, so then after the fact then they recreate it again. Nothing happened. You guys, it's all fake. No. Yeah, but that's false. That's absolutely false. Yeah, it doesn't mean that later on, he doesn't send, I don't know, they said he sent flowers to the family, but that doesn't discount like what happened in the past. So at the end of the day, Michael was very calculated. He was also a smart businessman. And again, I think this was a situation where Michael actually did know Prince was going to be there. And he played the stupid bit because it works really well for him. So I think he was looking up and seeing, oh, Prince is going to be there, because he loves to start trouble. And then played I had no idea. Oh, no, I can't do that. And then Will's going to go, oh, yeah, I'm going to help you. And then he sets up the whole thing, right? That's how Michael's brain operated. That's how calculated and smart he was. To the point that will.i.am thinks he was stupid. Like unknowing. Like he had no idea. Just like the Beyonce thing. Like, that's Michael. So it's not like, oh, he's so dumb, he had no idea he was there that night. And then he got him to talk him into it. No, Michael played you. And that's the great thing about, looking at these guys, because it's just like, what the hell? And Quincy knew. I heard the story originally through Quincy, not will.i.am. I was actually trying to go through something else. And luckily, I had to re-edit this because there was a story that tailed off from a long time ago with Perez and him, and I thought he was the one that punched him, and I almost went on this thing about it, and then he would have been very angry because apparently there's a whole different story to that thing. And I guess I didn't catch up on the aftermath of that. And so I went to research it before I put it up, and luckily I did that, because then it just, makes me look stupid, because I'm like, talk about something else. And that wasn't the story. Because I was going to say, I just kind of want to throw it out here. It might explain why will.i.am would pass off somebody trying to run somebody over. But apparently that story was a little different. But yeah, see, I'm catching up on old stories that I thought were one way. And then today it's totally different. And I guess it was just a matter of me not paying attention to the rest of the story at the time back when. And then like a whole different outcome came. I guess it was his manager that punched, who out. So, yeah, that was interesting. So, yeah, that conduct is bad too. And, but this is what's been going on. But yeah, take a look at Michael. No, he's calculated. He's very calculated. He was, when we're going through all this stuff, he's so calculated. He'll think of a plot. Like, I want to go meet so-and-so, right? So he'll do everything under the sun to try to meet them. He uses lawyers. We've seen that one. And then he just pops up into a thing. It's like, hey, guys, will you let me join in? And you think he's there for them. He wants to be with them. No. He has another MO going on. He wants to go after somebody else. He played people. And he played him very well. And that just may be from, the childhood manipulation. Because dad, he has to get around dad all the time. So you got to manipulate to get stuff. I mean, it has something to do with that from their early years. And then it works for him, right? It works very well for him. Because then he could play the innocent role of like, I had no idea. And then in the background, he's like, ha, 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 ha. Like this thing. I don't know what was going on in his mind on this thing. It may have just been like he wants to throw his power around a little bit, and then get some attention that he's there. But why would he all of a sudden want to leave? Why did he do that to me? It's like this, but it starts off like he cares. Like, why won't he give me attention? Me, attention, me. The show's not about him, right? That was Michael. We pretty much got that down now through all the stories, the allegations, through family, through Quincy, through a lot of the people that knew him, just like pulling out the characteristics and some of the things he did, and through him talking, and then catching him lying about things sometimes, which was real cute. Like, oh, he totally did. Because he manipulated like that. Again, they do what works, and it works like that. He didn't need to be physically violent. That works.